Under the shadow of power and intrigue at South Fork, time silently stole away the golden age, leaving behind a poignant sense of loss and longing. Dallas is not just a movie, but a story of loss and sacrifice that has haunted generations. However, in real life, fate was even more cruel, changing the cast of that era in ways no one could have predicted. Some are still here, others have passed away forever, leaving behind memories that are both profound and heartbreaking. We will look back at the real names, ages, and current lives of these legendary actors. Please try to watch the entire video because the truly heartbreaking part awaits you in the final seconds. 1. Linda Gray Dallas, 1978 to 1991, gave television one of its most wounded and elegant women in Sue Ellen Ewing, played by Linda Gray, J.R. Ewing's glamorous wife, trapped inside money, betrayal, alcohol, and emotional loneliness. Born on September 12, 1940 in Santa Monica, California, Gray gave Sue Ellen a trembling dignity that made her more than a soap opera victim. By 2026, Linda Gray is still alive and still remembered as one of primetime television's most powerful dramatic faces. Linda went through a period of facing a health crisis related to her liver. She overcame the disease, and that victory gave her a new purpose in life, leading her to become a lifelong advocate for organic living and holistic health. Her life has known real grief. In 2020, her son Jeff Thrasher died after battling leukemia, a loss she described with deep love and sorrow. For viewers who once watched Sue Ellen suffer on screen, that real-life pain made Linda Gray's strength feel even more human. Her private life included a marriage to photographer Ed Thrasher from 1962 until their divorce in 1983. 2. Patrick Duffy. In Dallas, 1978 to 1991, Patrick Duffy played Bobby Ewing, the decent, romantic, and morally steady younger brother of J.R. Ewing. Bobby was the heart of South Fork, loyal to family, gentle with love, but strong enough to stand against the darkness around him. Born on March 17, 1949 in Townsend, Montana, Duffy is alive. His life carried a devastating wound. In 1986, his parents were murdered during an armed robbery at their Montana tavern. Years later, he also lost his wife, Carlin Rosser, who died in 2017 after their long marriage. One touching detail is that Duffy found love again with actress Linda Pearl in 2020. After Dallas, he continued acting in Step by Step, The Dallas Revival, and The Bold and the Beautiful. Patrick Duffy's legacy is one of unwavering professionalism and kindness. He maintains a net worth of approximately $30 million, a fortune reflecting a lifetime of dedication to his craft. Rather than flashy car collections, his wealth is found in his expansive Oregon ranch and his commitment to his spiritual practice. 3. Larry Hagman. Larry Hagman was the actor who made J.R. Ewing unforgettable in Dallas, playing the ruthless oil tycoon whose smile could charm a room while hiding betrayal underneath. Born on September 21, 1931, in Fort Worth, Texas, Hagman died on November 23, 2012, at the age of 81. J.R. was not just a villain, he became a television event, the man millions love to hate, especially after the legendary Who Shot J.R. cliffhanger. His final years were marked by illness, but also resilience. Hagman had a liver transplant in 1995 after years of heavy drinking, and in 2011 he announced he had cancer. He died in Dallas from complications of acute myeloid leukemia with loved ones nearby. That detail feels almost poetic. The man who defined Dallas left the world and the city tied forever to his legend. After the original series, Hagman returned as J.R. in reunion projects in the 2012 Dallas Revival. Before that, he had already been beloved as Major Nelson in A Dream of Jeannie. His marriage to Major Axelson lasted from 1954 until his death, and they had 2 children. 4. Ken Kercheval Dallas, 1978 to 1991, gave television one of its most bitter rivals in Cliff Barnes, played by Ken Kercheval, the ambitious, wounded enemy of J.R. Ewing, forever chasing justice, power, and revenge against the family he believed had ruined his own. Born on July 15, 1935, in Wolcottville, Indiana, Kercheval gave Cliff a restless humanity, jealous, angry, funny, desperate, and often painfully vulnerable. Ken Kercheval died on April 21, 2019, at the age of 83. He had battled lung cancer years earlier, losing part of one lung, though his family did not publicly disclose a specific cause of death. For fans, the sadness was quiet. One of the last great faces of old Dallas had disappeared. Ken Kercheval's legacy is preserved through a net worth estimated at $11 million at the time of his passing. He didn't leave behind a fleet of luxury cars, but rather one of the most significant private collections of Americana in the country. In the hearts of the audience, he remains the beloved rival we couldn't help but root for. A reminder that the most compelling stories are often told by those who refuse to give up. 5. Susan Howard. In Dallas, 1978 to 1991, Susan Howard played Donna Culver Krebs, the intelligent, principled, and emotionally steady woman who became one of the show's most grounded figures. Donna was strong without being cold, romantic without losing her independence, and often brought a quieter moral voice into the world of Ewing power and conflict. Born Jerry Lynn Mooney on January 28, 1944 in Marshall, Texas, Howard is alive. Susan Howard faced the devastating challenge of breast cancer. However, thanks to her unwavering spirit and timely medical intervention, she miraculously overcame the disease. This victory not only allowed her to maintain her health and vitality, a testament to the beauty of courage, but also enabled her to continue contributing and living a meaningful life after her brilliant years at South Fork. One touching detail is that Howard did more than act on Dallas. She also wrote episodes of the series, proving there was a strong creative mind behind Donna's calm screen presence. In private life, she was married to Charles Howerton from 1962 to 1964 and had one daughter, Lynn. In 1974, she married Calvin Crane. 6. Howard Keel. Howard Keel was the actor who made Clayton Farlow memorable in Dallas, playing the wealthy rancher who eventually became Miss Ellie's husband and brought a calmer, older strength into the storm of the Ewing family. Born on April 13, 1919 in Gillespie, Illinois, Keel died on November 7, 2004. Clayton was not as ruthless as J.R., but he carried dignity, patience, and a deep sense of honor. His final years were marked by illness. Howard Keel died at his home in Palm Desert, California from colon cancer. For viewers who remembered his powerful singing voice and tall screen presence, the loss felt like the fading of an old Hollywood era. Before Dallas, he had been a major MGM musical star in films such as Annie Get Your Gun, Showboat, and 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. After joining Dallas in the 1980s, Keel found a new generation of fans. That is the touching surprise. A man once known for grand movie musicals became beloved again through primetime drama. His personal life included 3 marriages. His first 2 ended in divorce, and he remained married to Judy Magamal until his death. 7. Deborah Rennard Dallas, 1978 to 1991, gave J.R. Ewing one of his most loyal office allies in Sly Lovegren, played by Deborah Rennard, the elegant secretary who watched power, lies, oil money, and family betrayal move through Ewing Oil from just outside the center of the storm. Born on November 4, 1959 in Los Angeles, Rennard gave Sly a quiet intelligence. She was not the loudest woman in Dallas, but her calm presence made JR's ruthless world feel more real. Deborah faced the chronic discomfort and pressure of sinusitis, a condition that can be particularly exhausting for an actress working long hours under intense film lights. Ultimately, she overcame the chronic nature of the illness through consistent medical care and a shift to a more holistic lifestyle. Deborah Rennard's legacy is anchored by a net worth estimated at $1.5 million. She doesn't define her success through luxury car collections, but through the scripts she has written and the plays she has brought to life. In the hearts of the audience, she remains the watchful, sly Lovegren, a reminder that the quietest person in the room often has the most interesting story to tell. 8. Barbara Bel Geddes. In Dallas, 1978 to 1991, Barbara Bel Geddes played Miss Ellie Ewing, the quiet, dignified matriarch of South Fork. Miss Ellie was gentle but never weak. She carried the family's history, pain, and moral center in a world ruled by oil, pride, and betrayal. Born on October 31, 1922 in New York City, Bel Geddes died on August 8, 2005 in Northeast Harbor, Maine, at the age of 82. Her final years were private, and she died of lung cancer. One touching detail is that before Dallas, she had already built a respected career on Broadway and in film, including Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. She also won an Emmy Award in 1980 for playing Miss Ellie, proving that quiet strength could be just as powerful as drama. In private life, she was married twice, to Carl Sawyer, then to Windsor Lewis, who died in 1972. After Dallas, she largely stepped away from Hollywood and lived more quietly. She held an estimated net worth of $8 million, a fortune built on a career of immense talent rather than flashy indulgence. She didn't leave behind a fleet of cars, but rather a rich library of art and stories that reflected her gentle soul. 9. Omri Katz. Omri Katz was the young actor who made John Ross Ewing III memorable in Dallas, playing the son of J.R. and Sue Ellen Ewing, a child born into wealth, conflict, and one of television's most complicated families. Born on May 30th, 1976, in Los Angeles, California, Katz is still alive. As John Ross, he carried the quiet weight of the Ewing name, standing between his father's ambition and his mother's pain. Omri Katz once faced a health challenge when he experienced kidney problems. This was a time of great anxiety, forcing him to put his plans on hold to focus on treatment. However, with optimism and timely medical care, Omri overcame the serious illness and recovered well. His triumph over illness, allowing him to continue pursuing a carefree life connected with nature and his own business, is a testament to resilience, bringing immense relief and warmth to fans of the young John Ross. By 2026, Omri Katz's legacy is one of self-defined success, with a net worth estimated at $1 million. He remains a cherished part of our television memories, a reminder that sometimes the greatest triumph is simply choosing a path that leads you home to yourself. 10. Steve Canale Dallas, 1978 to 1991, gave South Fork one of its most grounded men in Ray Krebs, played by Steve Canale, the ranch foreman whose rough honesty stood in sharp contrast to the Ewing family's oil, power, and betrayal. Born on March 14, 1946, in Burbank, California, Canale gave Ray a quiet masculinity, loyal, stubborn, wounded, and always closer to the land than to the boardroom. Steve went through a physically challenging period due to a vestibular disorder. For someone famous for physically demanding roles and an active lifestyle, the sudden onset of dizziness and loss of balance was a terrifying ghost in his life. He approached his recovery with the same discipline he learned as an honored veteran. One touching detail is that Ray began as an outsider on South Fork, then was revealed to be Jock Ewing's illegitimate son. That twist turned him from hired hand into blood family, yet he never fully lost the loneliness of someone standing between two worlds. Canale has been married to Brent Power since 1975, a rare long marriage in Hollywood. 11. Priscilla Presley. In Dallas, 1978 to 1991, Priscilla Presley played Jenna Krebs, formerly Jenna Wade, Bobby Ewing's first love, a graceful but wounded woman caught between old feelings, family pressure, and the heavy shadows of South Fork. Jenna was gentle on the surface, yet carried quiet pain, especially when love and loyalty pulled her in different directions. Born on May 24, 1945 in New York City, Presley is alive. Priscilla Presley demonstrated the strength of a resilient woman by fighting and conquering tuberculosis. Overcoming this serious illness not only helped her maintain her timeless beauty, but also empowered her to become a decisive businesswoman, protecting what was most precious to the Presley family. After Dallas, she continued acting, especially in the Naked Gun films, while also becoming a businesswoman who helped preserve Elvis's legacy and opened Graceland to the public. Her net worth is commonly estimated at about $10 million, though not an official financial record. By 2026, her legacy remains larger than Jenna Krebs alone. Priscilla Presley is remembered as an actress, businesswoman, mother, and survivor of a life touched by fame, love, and repeated grief. 12. Victoria Principal. Victoria Principal was the actress who made Pamela Barnes Ewing unforgettable in Dallas, playing the woman caught between two warring families, the Barnes bloodline and the Ewing Empire. Born on January 3rd, 1950 in Fukuoka, Japan, Principal is still alive. Pamela was beautiful, vulnerable, and strong, but always surrounded by love, betrayal, and impossible family history. Victoria Principal once faced an invisible but dangerous enemy, breast cancer. Confronted with this daunting challenge, she chose to confront it with composure and unwavering determination. Thanks to early detection and aggressive treatment, Victoria was fortunate enough to overcome the disease, transforming her personal experience into a driving force for raising awareness about women's health. Her personal life included 2 marriages. She married Christopher Skinner in 1978 and divorced him in 1980. Her second marriage, to plastic surgeon Harry Glassman, lasted from 1985 until their divorce in 2006. Victoria Principal's legacy is towering, with a net worth estimated at $350 million, largely built through her business acumen. She remains a symbol of beauty and brains, a woman who proved that there is vibrant, meaningful life after the final credits roll. 13. Deborah Trinelli Dallas, 1978 to 1991, gave Bobby Ewing one of his most trusted office allies in Phyllis Wapner, played by Deborah Trinelli, the poised, loyal secretary who brought calm professionalism into the dangerous world of Ewing Oil. Born on July 6, 1955 in New York, Trinelli gave Phyllis a quiet steadiness. She was not part of the great Ewing battles, yet she stood close enough to hear the echoes of power, betrayal, and ambition. Deborah faced the ghost of chronic arthritis. For a seasoned actress and musical theater performer, this condition could have been a career-ending obstacle. Through a combination of modern medical care and a commitment to maintaining physical health at a gentle level, she successfully managed the condition. One touching detail is that Phyllis remained memorable precisely because she was not dramatic. In a show full of shouting, schemes, and broken marriages, she represented order, the composed woman at the desk, while empires trembled behind closed doors. Deborah Trinelli's legacy is reflected in a net worth estimated at $1.5 million. 14. Cherie J. Wilson. In Dallas, 1978 to 1991, Cherie J. Wilson played April Stevens Ewing, the elegant, ambitious businesswoman whose charm masked a deeply emotional heart. April was confident, intelligent, and fiercely independent, yet her love for Bobby Ewing revealed a softer side that made her story unforgettable. Born on December 12, 1958 in Rochester, Minnesota, Wilson is alive. Cherie J. Wilson quietly battled and overcame kidney problems, a little-known hidden aspect of her life. Overcoming this serious illness not only demonstrated her unwavering will, but also helped her appreciate the value of life more deeply, thereby fueling her philanthropic activities and passion for nature. In her private life, Wilson was married to Paul DeRabio from 1991 to 2004 and has 2 sons, Cherie J. Wilson's legacy is one of versatile talent and a generous spirit. She maintains an estimated net worth of approximately $5 million, a a fortune earned through decades of consistent work in two of television's biggest hits. She doesn't drive a fleet of flashy cars, instead finding her wealth in her expansive ranch and her commitment to environmental and animal welfare causes. 15. Charlene Tilton. Charlene Tilton was the actress who made Lucy Ewing Cooper unforgettable in Dallas, playing the spoiled, lonely, rebellious granddaughter of Jock and Miss Ellie Ewing. Born on December 1st, 1958 in San Diego, California, Tilton is still alive. Lucy looked like the bright young princess of South Fork, but beneath the beauty and money was a girl searching for love, attention, and a place to belong. Tilton's real life carried pain. Her mother struggled with mental illness, and Charlene grew up with instability before fame arrived. Later, she also endured the sudden death of her fiancé, cinematographer Chetty Hart, from heart failure in 2009, a loss that deeply affected her. After Dallas, Tilton continued acting, singing, and appearing on television, including returns to the Dallas universe. Her personal life included marriages to Johnny Lee and Dominic Allen, both ending in divorce. She has one daughter, country singer Cherish Lee. Charlene Tilton's legacy is defined by a net worth of $2 million and a reputation as one of the kindest souls in show business.